Well, hello, and welcome to the internet, and welcome to my channel. It's me, Odio, and I'm here to do a review today for you of the Fallout TV series. It's going to be a little bit different than my other ones, because it's going to be spoiler-free. So grab some Radaway, and let's head into the wasteland. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about Fallout, the TV show on Amazon Prime. I just finished it recently, so I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review. I'll be very spoiler-light. I'm going to have to talk about a bit of it, but I will stay out of all the big story beats and just get into the, the good stuff. Well, getting started, yeah, Fallout is based on a game. I'm old, so I've actually played Fallout 1 and 2. I actually bought them in the store when they came out. I played Fallout New Vegas, and then when Bethesda bought it, Fallout 3 and 4. Wasn't a big fan of 76, but, they were all good games. One thing that stood out about them was, the stories were, pretty cool. The vaults were different in all of them, and the glitches were always fantastic. So the factions in this one, you're going to see, just like the game, there's Vault Dwellers, there's the Brotherhood of Steel, there's the Enclave, the New California Republic, and as always, bandits, mutants, and ghouls. So the dark humor and satire that they have in the game, that's back, and lots of the authentic music from the game. I really liked the tone and stuff. It was really, really good. And all around through the whole show, I found they had a lot of little tidbits. It felt like Fallout. It looked like Fallout, especially superficially. The vault looked like the vault, and everybody had the proper jumpsuits on. The 1950s propaganda from the vault was there, and Pip Boys were that back, and everything honestly really fit the tone. Yeah, there were a couple things that weren't my favorite. There were some lore changes. There were no constant glitches. It didn't crash to the dashboard at all. I wasn't sure that this really was Fallout. I've played Fallout, and that's definitely a feature, you know what I mean? Also, I guess Lucy's kind of our main character, but she didn't immediately pick up everything in the first place she went into and become over-encumbered and unable to run. And I'm pretty sure that's a pretty big part of when you come out of the Fallout vault for the first time. And no death claws that I noticed, unless they were in the background or something. But overall, they did a pretty good job. They brought in lots of the stuff you're going to want to see if you're a Fallout fan, and if you're new to the franchise, a lot of interesting sights. So to get our Fallout story going, it's going to start off kind of like you were starting off the game, in a vault. We're going to be at Vault Fallout Shelter 33, and we are going to be following a couple different characters. First one, we're going to get into Lucy. She's a character that lives by the golden rule. As Walton Goggin tells her, the golden rule in the wasteland is thou shalt get sidetracked by bullshit every goddamn time. So there's quite a lot of that in this. She is the main character. She lives in Vault 33. You get to see her using her Pip-Boy. You see the special coming up and her showing all of her talents. Her dad's the Overseer, played by Colin McLaughlin. Paul Atreides himself. And they pretty much show you what vault life is like. Really like this part. It's fun. It's interesting to see. They're all very very friendly and happy-go-lucky. There's no crime or problems. No one gets hurt. And basically she's looking to get married, So that's kind of how it starts off. You can probably see that in the trailers. And long story short, bandits get into the vault one way or another, and they abduct her father. And so Lucy has to go and retrieve her father, kind of like Fallout 3. That was also the first Bethesda one. I know Todd Howard's involved, so maybe a little bit of influence there. But anyway, Lucy is fantastic. I really like her character. She's naive and she's nice. She basically kind of represents what the player would be like first coming out of the vault. Everything is new to her. Her conflict resolution is a lot of different. And that's kind of the motto of the vault is when they're going back for reclamation. They're supposed to hang on to the good of the vault while dealing with the bad up there and not letting it completely change you. And she has really good character development. I like the journey we take with her. You know what I mean? She has consequences for a lot of her actions. She grows. She changes. By the time you get to the end of episode 8, it's not the same Lucy that leaves the vault on episode 1. She encounters a lot of things she has to overcome. She meets ghouls, mutants. She's had to carry a human head at one part. There's a lot of things that happen in the whole course of it, but overall, she overcomes a lot of it and has an interesting arc. I won't tell you exactly how it ends, but she's a good character, and her culmination of her story is pretty good. We have a couple other characters in here too. Another one is called Maximus, or Max. He's in the Brotherhood of Steel. Now, if you don't know who the Brotherhood of Steel is, they're basically a group of people. They search for pre-war tech. They try to find people with pre-war tech, and take away their pre-war tech so they can't use the pre-war tech. Yeah, that's pretty much what they do, kind of. I think I may have said a little bit too much, but that's what they do. They go around doing that. And they have a bunch of recruits. And he's one of them. And he comes off, he's kind of selfish, especially in the beginning. You kind of think some of the choices he made aren't very good. He goes on a little mission with one of his knights. Things go awry, and you get to see he's got a pretty interesting story arc. He intersects with Lucy a couple of times. His character is basically, if you were to be playing Fallout and you looked at the special stats, he would have maximum luck. His L in the special would be at the top because he fails upwards. He gets knocked out in a lot of places, ends up in certain places, and always has the opportunity to kind of fail upwards without any consequences. But he's kind of a fun character. He has some of the times I actually laughed out loud in the series was definitely from him. He was really, really good. And our last but not least was my favorite character. That was the Ghoul, Cooper Howard. He was the bad guy, kind of like a gunslinger, but he felt the most like a video game character. Even his intro, how they find him, it's kind of like how you find a companion in the Fallout games. Anyway, he's a ghoul. He's over 200 years old. You get to see him kind of before the actual bomb drops and after, and you can see he's kind of lost his humanity, and he's searching for his family, and he doesn't know, and that's pretty much the only human thing left about him. He's definitely a gunslinger. In the beginning, you get to see him kind of back in the past doing movies and shows, and how he wants to do them right and not be a bad person and things, but like as slowly, probably 200 years as time goes on, he's definitely a much harder person now. Lucy kind of softens him. She's with their interactions are great. They have some really nice moments that she just tries to show him that, hey, not everyone's bad, and even though she sees a lot of bad, it doesn't totally ruin her outlook on life. And he's basically a gunslinger with kind of like a good heart, sort of, not really all the way. But yeah, all their adventures kind of intertwine, and of course they all end together at one point. You get a pretty good finale. There's also some pretty interesting side quests. There was a whole arc with her brother. I really liked it, exploring a couple of different vaults. You get to see multiple vaults in this, 3 or 4. You get to see before the bomb drops. You get a lot of the history about vault tech and things like that. There's even a Codsworth robot you run into, and you get the backstory on Codsworth. There's a lot of fun nods to the show, to the game the whole way through. I really enjoyed a lot of the Easter eggs too, so it's a good time, especially if you've been a fan of the Fallout games at all. You're going to recognize a lot of things. If you're new to it, I watched it with someone who's never really played the Fallout games. They enjoyed it, and I think it was pretty good. Like I said, not all of the arcs end satisfactorily. You don't really get the exact answer to everything, but most questions are answered, and overall, it was an enjoyable time. I really enjoyed the characters. I really liked the story. Seeing the mutants was great. I loved all the creatures. Seeing a rad roach was was awesome. So, seeing the actual mutants attack and try to eat people, and seeing the ghouls in live action. There was a lot of really cool moments in it, and seeing the actual weapons from the Fallout games get used. So a lot of nods. Overall, I'd recommend it. It's a pretty good time, and it may not be the greatest show I've ever seen, but it's satisfying, and I'd recommend it. But thanks so much for watching this far. I really appreciate it, and stay out of trouble, and like and subscribe. Thanks.